Dun, 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 Yeah, that was.
Hi everyone, welcome to Swami Reads Books. This is my first ever YouTube video, which is kind of crazy. I never thought I'd do it, but today for the first ever video, I'm going to be reviewing A Song of Ice and Fire. As someone who's a massive fan of HBO's Game of Thrones, I think it's my favorite show of all time, and I'd seen the show before I read the books, which is not something I would advise because the books are on a completely different level, and I can understand why so many people were pissed off because of so many small things that they just kind of omitted or kind of changed. And that's what happens during every single book adaptation into a TV or a movie. That's what happened with Harry Potter as well. So yeah, people don't like that, and I kind of see where they're coming from. But I started reading the books last year, end of last year, and then I had a very daunting exam, so I had to keep them on pause. But just last month, I completed reading all five of the so far released. So far, I say it with a cross finger because I'm hoping that the last two books come someday. So far, released five books of A Song of Ice and Fire, and yeah, I guess today I'm going to be reviewing it. Uh, this is my first ever YouTube video. I don't know how the drill goes, so I guess if you like the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff, and comment down below with if you've read the books and if you've seen the show, what your favorite moments were, and yeah, I guess let's get started.
Okay, so here's how we're gonna do things. We're gonna first talk about the top five. Top five. There are only five. We're gonna rank the five books. From the worst to the best. I'd say not from the worst to the best because I don't believe that there are any bad books. Let's say from my least favorite to my most favorite. That's a better way of saying, I guess. Then I'm gonna be telling you my favorite point of view characters from the entire series. Then I'm going to be telling you some of my favorite quotes. There are a lot of quotes. I just, off the top of my head, the ones that I remember, I'm going to be talking about them. And again, this is just my list. This is not the right list. I'm not saying that it is. This is just my own favorite list. And yeah, I don't really care if people don't agree with this because I like it. So yeah, you can have your own list. If you read the books, you can comment down below what your list is, and yeah, let's get started, I guess. So coming in at number 5 is going to be the first book of the series, that is A Game of Thrones. Again, like I said before, I do not think that there is any bad A Song of Ice and Fire book. This book for me is just the weakest book amongst all five. I am sorry, I do not have a copy of this book right now. I have two copies of the book, and both of them are with friends of mine. So I'm really sorry, I do not have a copy of this book right now. But yeah, again, like I said, it's not a bad book in any sort of regard. It has one of my favorite characters, Eddard, and it's not a bad book at all because the thing that goes wrong with this book is it's just so new. You're just introduced to this world. It's just an introduction thing. That being said, it's not like a lot of cool and main moments that define the series do not happen in this book, but it's just a kind of introduction to this crazy world of Westeros and Essos kind of book. It's just that type of a book. There's a lot of world building going on. There's a lot of plot points going on. There's a lot of conspiracy theories regarding the murder of Jon Arryn going on. So a lot of cool stuff is going on. But again, for me, it's the weakest in comparison to the plot points, to the world building that goes on in the remaining books. That being said, again, like I'm saying it constantly, this is not a bad book in any regard. I have a lot of standout moments from this book. I think the scene at the end where Dany's dragons hatch when they're born is top notch. I loved it in the show as well. The fever dreams that Ned has when he's sick, when he's injured, I think they're great as well. And I think the Arthur Dane moment as well, which was done in the show a bit like okayish, but it was the Arthur Dane moment at the Tower of Joy was done really well. Was written really well in the books. So yeah, I feel that's I think this is the book I have the least to say about because I don't really have that many cool things to say about, because I'll be honest, I read this book a long time ago, and I'd completely forgotten whether to read the next book or not. I was like, okay, it's cool, maybe we'll see sometime. But then, due to some reason, I completely forgot to read the next book. And then last year, when I continued the series again, I was like literally zooming through this entire book because I knew what was going to happen. And because I'd heard that season 1 was the most book accurate season. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother that much. Maybe that was wrong of me, but it's fine, I guess. It's fine. So yeah, A Game of Thrones, great book, really something that you should read, but definitely my least favorite out of A Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah. Okay, coming in at fourth place is gonna be a book that gets hated way too much by this fandom, and I am no different because I've literally kept it fourth. But I do not hate this book. This book is a certified banger, and that is A Clash of Kings. For me, this book on a first read is very daunting because there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of chapters that feel like, you know, they're just not relevant to the story. Like, they're not pushing the plot ahead, it's just at a standstill, and the things that you read about in one chapter seem to be going on again in the very next chapter of a particular point of view character. I think that this book suffers from that a lot. With that being said, on a reread, I think this book was the best because I just completed it last month, and I've already reread some of the chapters in this book. And I feel like some of the chapters in this book, especially the Tyrion and the Sansa chapters, they were just amazing on a reread. Like, if they weren't already on the first read. But so yeah, on a reread, this book is really good, and it is like massively. In the little time I've spent in the A Song of Ice and Fire fandom, this book has been hated so many times, and I think it gets way more hate than it deserves, to be honest, because there's just so much going on. The politics of the Seven Kingdoms is described the best in this book, according to me, and I think that Tyrion is at his best in this book. Sansa is the GOAT, and the War of the Five Kings, the implications that it has on each kingdom and on each person per se, is also done really nicely in this book. I feel Daenerys, the Daenerys Karth chapters are something that I do not like, except the chapter of the House of the Undying. Except that chapter, the Daenerys chapters just feel like a drag, and that's kind of, you know, bad because I love Dany, and you know, her chapters in this just felt like a drag, and I loved her in A Game of Thrones. The first book, I thought she was the best character in the first book, and after that, this one just feels a bit of a drag, but it feels fine, I guess. A Clash of Kings has its moments. It has moments where, you know, it's a real drag. Like, for example, Arya's chapters. I did read somewhere that George R.R. Martin's wife's favorite character is Arya Stark. So that basically grants her immortality in this entire series. But then again, there's an entire ocean of Arya in this book. There's so much Arya. There's like, you could have literally cut the chapters down to half and it wouldn't have made a difference. Again, I appreciate her stories in Harrenhal. I appreciate the plot points that are going there. But there's just too much of Arya that, you know, could have helped if they, you know, trimmed the chapter to the chapters like at least by 4 or 5 or something like that. So yeah, it has its highs, it has its moments. Like the Davos chapters, I really like. It's very refreshing to see these two new characters, Davos and Stannis. It's very refreshing to see how, you know, their point of view is on this. I love Renly in this book as well. We get our introduction to Brienne, and yeah. So on a reread, I love this book, but I see what issues there are that people have been talking about. So yeah, that's A Clash of Kings for me. Okay, now we're into favorites category. The next 3 books I have absolutely loved the shit out of. They can change at any single time for me. And so yeah, at third place we have a book which is split into 2 volumes in my country, and that is Dance with Dragons. The final, it's not the final book, okay, it's not the final book, the latest book, that's the better word, the latest book released in A Song of Ice and Fire. For me, Dance is an interesting book because I think Dance suffers from plots where it is just so bad, but also plots where it's so good. It's like two opposite ends of a spectrum, like exactly two opposite ends of a spectrum. Dance is exactly that. It's like it's either too good or it's either too bad. There's no middle ground. That's what I felt reading this entire book. It's like I'm experiencing the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. That's what I felt with Dance. But I'm just gonna get the lows out of the way first. Firstly, Daenerys. This was supposed to be her book, but her arc in Marine, it's good at some points, but after some time, it gets like a bit boring, repetitive, monotonous. I did like the the what did you call that, the fighting pits, that scene where she takes off with Drogon. I did like that chapter, and the final chapter as well, where she's literally where she's literally saying that you're a fucking Targaryen, can't you make a hat, something like that. That was really funny. So yeah, I like that. Daenerys was okay overall. Tyrion gets way too many chapters in this book. I get it, he's George R. R. Martin's favorite character. So, but the thing with Tyrion in this book is until he's on the Shy Maid, like when he's on the Shy Maid, his chapters are great. Like I was waiting for the next Tyrion chapter to come when he was on the Shy Maid. The moment he gets captured by Jorah Mormont, his story just goes down and it gets really, really boring. Like I like Penny, I like how she was introduced in it, but the entire story just goes down a cliff. Like legit goes down a cliff, and I do not think he had any standout moments after that. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, Tyrion was like okay. You could have literally trimmed his chapters by 6, and it wouldn't have mattered that much. After that, I think there were some chapters that were literally so bad that I wanted to stop reading the books. One of them was The Wind Blown, which was I think Quentin Martel's second chapter. Yeah, second POV chapter. That is probably the worst chapter in this entire series. It did nothing. It absolutely did nothing for me, and it could have been like done it in a different way or something like that, but it did nothing for me. Didn't really move the story forward. Sure, I mean, but you could have literally done it with like 5 pages and wouldn't have made much of a difference. So yeah, I did not like the Windblown chapter. Other than that, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the lows. But the highs, oh my god, the highs of this book. Firstly, John in this book I absolutely love. Like love in this book. Right till the very end where he, yeah. Then, other than John, Theon in this book is like legit chef's kiss because we did not know what was up with him after a Clash of Kings, and now he just suddenly came into this deranged creature called Reek. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about Theon ahead. So yeah, like I said, Dance has a lot of highs. I think I need a separate video just to talk about Dance because there's just so much going on. It's such a big book. But again, like I said, it's exactly two ends of a spectrum. It's either really good or it's either really bad, and I'm not sure how I feel about a book like that. But nonetheless, I think Dance is a great book overall, and I loved reading it. Like especially the end parts, I loved reading it. I loved the new characters that were introduced in this book. Really loved them, like John Con, the entire crew of the Shy Maid. I loved them, and Penny I loved a lot. So yeah, there was a great number of characters that were introduced in this book. It could have done better with the pacing, but it's fine, I guess. And even the prologue in this book is really good. I love beyond the wall stuff. Like the moment you give me something beyond the wall, I'm hooked. I'm instantly hooked, and that's why I love the Varamir Sixkeen's prologue and the epilogue of Sir Kevin. That was really good as well. So yeah, overall great book. Little pacing issues, but still good enough for number 3. Okay, then the top 2. Okay, let's just put the elephant out of the room. Elephant? What even is that? What does that even mean? Okay, let's just talk about the obvious one. At number 2, I have A Song of Swords. Again, split in 2 parts in my country for some reason. let's just put the obvious. I'm not gonna be making a 5 minute section just for a Storm of Swords. It's been talked about way too much already. Uh, it is easily one of the greatest fantasy books ever written. There's absolutely no question about it. For people who have not read the books, let me just tell you all the things that happen in this book. The red wedding happens in this book. The purple wedding happens in this book. Lysa Arryn gets pushed out of the moon door by Littlefinger in this book. Tywin Lannister dies in this book. Oberyn Martell dies in this book. The entire Tyrion trial happens in this book, and so many more things. I'm not even remembering half of the stuff, but amazing book. The second part, that is this particular part, is like it's just one plot after another plot, and there's so many things are coming together, and you kind of understand the build-up that was going on from book one, book two, and stuff like that, and just the War of the Five Kings getting over just like that. It was, with the red wedding. Yeah, we don't talk about the red wedding here. So yeah, I'm not gonna like talk so much in depth regarding a Storm of Swords. People already have said it way too many times, but yeah, it's one of the best books ever written in fantasy, and yeah, it's always going to be like that. So a Storm of Swords easily cracks the top three in most people's lists, and I'm no different. So yeah, Storm of Swords, great book, great characters, great plot points. Yeah. Oh, for my favorite book in A Song of Ice and Fire, I'm just gonna end it, man. It's a feast for crows. It's always going to be a feast for crows. The fourth book in the series. I don't know, man. There's two types of people in this fandom, as much as I know. People who absolutely love Feast for Crows. People who shit on this book. I am the former person. I am the first person. I will always be that first person. Feast for Crows is, first of all, look at the title. A Feast for Crows. Such an apt title, because in the previous books, the War of the Five Kings has just gotten over, and now there's just so many dead bodies, lying, so many corpses, and it's literally a feast for crows who feed on dead bodies. That is such a great title, and that got me hooked on instantly. The prologue is great. We get introduced to the Faceless Men. Then we get introduced to two whole ass new kingdoms in this book, Dawn and Iron Islands, both of whom I absolutely love. Dawn just found a new special place in my heart, and I fucking hate the show for what they did with Dawn. Unacceptable, unforgivable, and I hope that Dawn plays a really important part. I think they will in this, ending of the books. And yeah, Dawn was amazing in this book. The Iron Islands, the Greyjoys, they're these emo, aggressive, really, dumb, I would say, characters, because except Euron, no one's really thinking. Aaron is just like, he's just thinking about one particular thing, the Drown God and stuff like that. He's obviously a clever person. He sees what the Crows Eye is doing. But yeah, he has the Kingsmoot chapter, which I thought was great to be seen from his POV. I think that was a good decision. Then we have Victarion Greyjoy, someone I am absolutely annoyed that they omitted from the show. He should not have been omitted from the show. He is this really dumb, really dumb. When I say dumb, really dumb, but extremely, I'd say funny, dare I say funny, and really like very, this kind of character that just does not give a fuck, to be honest. He's been done over so many times by the Crow's Eye. He's out there for revenge. While I say that he's dumb, he's actually really clever to figure out in A Dance with Dragons that Euron is literally sending him over to get the Dragon Queen for herself. He figures that out, which is great. So yeah, Victarion, great character. We get introduced to Asha in this book as well. She's a favorite of many people. I'd say she's not my favorite, but she's a great character. We get introduced to her as well in this book. And then for my favorite character in this entire book, Cersei fucking Lannister, man. Oh my god, I love this book only and only, not only, but like mostly for the way in which the Cersei chapters are in this book. Oh my god. If you didn't know, obviously you wouldn't know, but like Cersei is undisputedly, she was my favorite character in the show, from the show. And I was like, maybe the books will be better, and for sure they are 100% better for her character. She is just effortlessly funny. There's just so many like moments where you know that she's being really dumb, but it's just so funny. And for me, in fiction, in fantasy, I love people that, that are like a comedy of errors type of person. People who think that they're really clever but they're really not, but you kind of want to root for them. That's exactly what Cersei is. I think Tywin said a great line in the show that it's not that he doesn't trust her because she's a woman, it's because she's not as clever as she thinks she is, which is a basic, very very good summarization of Cersei's character. She carries the book, and I will always love this book for that. Other than her, we get great chapters from Brienne. Brienne, on first read, her chapters are a bit slow, but I'm pretty sure if I read them again, I'll understand, where they're coming from, where she's coming from. There was that one moment where she broke down in front of a priest, I believe, and that was a really emotional moment. Jamie's chapters are great as well, as he's trying to, succumb to the weight of his father's legacy, what Tywin said before he died. He's trying to live with the fact that his little brother, the one he cared about so much, ended up killing his father. And he's also trying to settle with the fact that the woman he loves does not really care for him anymore, now that he does not have a hand. So Jaime he was great in A Storm of Swords. He was the best character in A Storm of Swords, and he just took it to another level in this book as well. So overall, this book, am I missing someone? Sam, yeah, Sam. Sam is okay, boring at times, but his conversations with Mr. Aemon are great in this book. And I guess, Sam and Gilly hooked up. W for me, I was rooting for them, so they hooked up. That's great. Overall, my favorite book easily. I don't care what you say. If you hate Cersei, this is not a space for you. This is not your place. Please go. Please leave respectfully. Do not hate Cersei over here. Thank you. So we've talked about my favorite books, their ranking and all that fun stuff. Now I'm going to tell you my favorite top 5 POV characters, point of views that I absolutely loved in the entire series. And there are a few surprises here, which I did not know will make the list, but here we are. At number 5, I have Bran. I still cannot believe that Bran made the list, because I do not like Bran. Did not like Bran because his plot in A Clash of Kings was boring. He wasn't going anywhere. In A Storm of Swords, it was really boring, and I was like, thank God he's not in A Feast. I think that's why I liked Feast so much, because there was no Bran. But then come his chapters in Dance, and oh my God, he has just 3 chapters in Dance. All 3 of them. Like I said before as well, if you give me any stuff beyond the wall, I'm instantly hooked on. And all 3 of his chapters take place beyond the wall, especially that 3rd chapter where we get introduced to what Blood Raven is, who Blood Raven is really. Especially that 3rd chapter. That chapter is so creepy. There's just so many thematic richness in that chapter. There's just so much uneasiness, eerie feeling regarding it. And then obviously you couple it with the theory of Jojen paste. Don't even want to talk about that. So Bran, he made the list for me because of Dance, and I kind of felt bad for him for hating him so much after Dance. I was like, man, okay, you're not that bad. So I guess Bran will be at number 5 for me. And at number 4, we have someone who I did not like in the show. I won't say hate. I'd say did not like would be a good, but I did not hate her or something. But at number 4, I have Catelyn Stark, and I will always be grateful for the books because of how they made me feel regarding Catelyn. And after reading the books, I just understand this one simple thing about Catelyn. From long afar, she seems like this really complex character, but it's really simple, to be honest. She's just a mother. Her 16-year-old son, is literally king in the north. Her husband has just died. Her daughters are in King's Landing, and the supposed ransom of her daughters, is the biggest piece of shit ever, the most fucked up dude ever. And she does not know what to do. She wants her family to be back together, but she has no idea. And at the same time, she has to deal with the fact that Bran and Rickon might be dead as well. So yeah, there's just sometimes, when you're trying to hate someone, you just literally forget what they're going through themselves. And Catelyn had such a great character resurrection for me personally. I did not like her in the show, like I said, but I absolutely love her. Her inner monologues that go on in her head, the thoughts, how she sees Rob as this someone who, literally raised him to the kind of king that he has become now, how she sees that, he's grown so much. But at the same time, she has to deal with the fact that he's just 16, he's still a baby, and he's king in the north. And obviously, Catelyn 7 in the Storm of Swords, the Red Wedding chapter, that like honestly destroyed me to levels that you cannot imagine. And I literally threw the book after that chapter. That chapter got over, and I was sobbing in a pool of my own tears, like for 20 minutes at least. And I was like, dude, I saw it coming. I mean, I knew it was coming, and still it hit so hard. So Catelyn for me, she gained a lot of respect in the books, and I'm so glad that I read the books because they literally character resurrected Catelyn for me, and yeah, she's great. She's number 4 for me. Number 3 is a fan favorite. Everyone would have him, somewhere high in their list. Jon Snow is number 3. Jon Snow, one of the main guys in this entire story. People say that they do not like his character arc in A Clash of Kings. I will have to disagree because again, Beyond the Wall stuff. Give me all the Beyond the Wall stuff. I'm all in for that. So yeah, I loved him in The Clash of Kings. I loved him in Storm Swords as well, where there's this conflict going on between him whether he wants to join the Wildlings or join stay loyal to his Night's Watch vows. And it's exactly perfect to the type of writing that George R. R. Martin wants to do. Like he said that he wants to write about the human heart in conflict with itself, and that's exactly the kind of complexity going on with John's character here. Like obviously he sees that the ones that were literally told as his enemies, that were supposed to be his enemies, they're just ordinary men as well. They're just regular men as well, trying to be alive. And the Night's Watch, they're literally his sworn brotherhood, but at the same time, the free folk, they're basic humans as well. They want to stay alive as well. So there's always that thing that goes on in his mind when he's trying to like Ygritte as well. He loves her so much, but he cannot be with her. He knows that internally. And let's not forget, he's still 16, 17 in the books. That's a lot for a 17-year-old to go through. Now, obviously, he's not there in a Feast for Crows. And then Dance, I think he's one of the best characters in Dance. For me, all 12 chapters, 12? Yeah, 12 chapters of John, 12 or 13, I think 12. I may be wrong. But all chapters of his in Dance, pretty good. I can see why he died at the end, although I hated it. But I can see the mutiny was coming. Let's be honest. The decisions that John made were atrocious, really bad. Again, I'm not blaming him for that. He's just 17 years old. I keep on stressing that fact. I did not expect much more from a kid. A kid being a Lord Commander. I did not expect him. He is such an innocent. I mean, the way in which that they've put him is like this innocent. How kids are really innocent, how they feel that the good must be protected without knowing the implications that can give. So he knows that the wildlings are humans as well, and the threat of the others stays looming, but at the same time he does not understand the complexities and the kind of morality that will come with saving them, the type of mutiny that will happen in the Night's Watch, because they've literally sworn to fight for these wildlings, for the entire life. That's their oath. And this guy, he just wants what's good for the realm. So while you appreciate the goodness that John has, the innocence that he has as a kid, at the same time you're like, dude, what are you doing at some points? Like meeting with that Iron Bank guy from Bravos, I forgot his name, but meeting with Trico Nestoris, meeting with him, but not telling Bowen Marsh and Othel Yavik, like why are you doing that? And then riding south because of a letter. I get it, it's Arya, it's the family, but you're Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, let's be honest. So yeah, I get the killing, like I get where the killing was coming from, and I do not blame the Night's Watchman for that. I mean, sue me, I guess, but I can see where it's coming from. But nonetheless, John is a great character. Hopefully he comes back. Hopefully he comes back. He will come back, right? Right. Yeah, hopefully he does come back. So yeah, at number three I have Jon Snow. Coming in at second place is someone I did not know will make it this high in the list. It's Theon Greyjoy. Theon is interesting because at the start of the series in A Game of Thrones, we don't really get what his perspective is. We don't get to see the world from his perspective. But from A Clash of Kings, we get his own POV chapters. He's shown as this really proud, really egotistical, self-obsessed kind of guy who just, thinks he's king of the world, he's the prince of the Iron Islands, and stuff like that. We get to see this really flawed man, but deep down we also know that all he craves for is an identity. We do not know, he does not know if he's a Stark or a Greyjoy. So like, all he really wanted was an identity. We get to understand that. And then at the end of Clash of Kings, we see that the Reek guy gets Winterfell and he captures Theon, and that's all done. And then for 2 books, we do not see where he is. We have no idea what's going on. And then just suddenly, after 180 pages or something into Dance, I come across the Reek chapter. And I was like, okay, is this who I think it is? And then there's a Greyjoy mentioned somewhere, and I was like, okay, we're getting Theon back. So yeah, we got Theon back, and he's become this completely different individual. He has no more pride to spare. His ego has been shattered. His image, his identity, which was already non-existent, has gone further down the pothole. All thanks to Ramsay. And it's like, it's such a difficult character to rank, because while you feel bad for Reek, you kind of also feel like, guess what? Theon had this coming. Why the hell would you murder those Miller's boys? I do not feel sympathy for you because you had this coming. But at the same time, the amount of atrocious things that are done to him. By the way, the people who say that the torture of Theon in the show is really bad, believe me, in the books it is worse. It is worse. And it just makes you feel sad. And this entire transition, the entire character. Okay, firstly, in the show they did a really good job with Theon's character. One of the few characters they did a really good job with. In the books, we see him as someone who's Theon, proud prince of the Iron Islands. And then in Dance, we see him as Reek, someone who's completely flawed, completely damaged soul. He does not know who he is completely, and he actually knows who he is. He wants to be Reek. He does not want to be anyone else. He does not want to be called Theon. Reek, it rhymes with peak, it rhymes with sneak. That's exactly what he wants to do. Then we see the Turncloak chapter, then we see the Prince of Winterfell chapter, then the Ghost of Winterfell chapter, and then finally we see a Theon chapter. That just gave me goosebumps, to go from there to there. I've been a part of this journey. I understand where this guy is coming from. And then obviously at the end, the last Asha chapter where Asha and Theon reunite, that got to me as well. So yeah, overall I think great character arc, and I don't think Theon's story is over. I don't think he's surviving that long. Maybe he makes it to maybe he makes it to Dream, but I am not sure. But I think he's still got a lot to give. Who knows? He might have written the pink letter as well. Crazy theory, I know, but yeah, Theon is my personal favorite. It's just what I like about characters, fictional characters, complex fictional characters. It's everything I like about them. He is everything I like about them. So yeah, Theon's great. Theon's second, yeah. And then coming in at number 1, she was always supposed to be number 1. It's Cersei fucking Lannister. On this channel, if I ever say that anyone other than Cersei is number 1, you just know it's not me, and I'm being possessed by someone else. Cersei Lannister, for me, greatest female character ever written in any sort of thing. I haven't seen a better female character than her. Probably I haven't read that much, but for me, she is my favorite character. The point of views are absolutely hilarious, like I already said, and Lena Headey did such a great job with her on the show. and I felt like she did justice to the characters in the books. Like she was one of the few people who did justice to their characters, in the show. Like Cersei, whenever I was reading about Cersei, I literally could not imagine anyone other than Lena Headey, because she's just ingrained in that character so well. But we're not here to talk about the show. Cersei in the books, she makes so many bad decisions. There's just so many people. I will again another character or like characters that I really don't like that were omitted from the show are the Kettle Blacks. I think their arc with Cersei is great. They could have been kept in the show. Again, not that mad, but like could have been a great point. Then Orain Waters on the small council. He's a great guy as well, really funny. Then her irritation of Marjorie, like she loathes that woman. She absolutely loathes that woman, and we loathe Marjorie for that. Fuck off, Marjorie. So yeah, her loathing of Marjorie is funny, and then her dialogues with Kevin Lannister are so funny as well, and her relationship with Jamie, the way in which that has evolved from where it started to where it is now. She feels like Jamie is dependent on her now, like she is the alpha in the relationship, if I can say that. But yeah, everything comes down in a split second when she gets trapped and like, caught by the High Septon, and now she's just in a prison of sorts. And then we go to her character in Dance, and I was like, yeah, thank God Cersei's back. Cersei's back. Dance, greatest book of all time. And then I was so happy to see her, and they actually did the Walk of Atonement thing in the books as well. And again we get a glimpse of Robert Strong as well, Sir Robert Strong as well at the end. So 12 chapters I believe Cersei had. I cannot I cannot imagine anyone else who had better chapters than her, honestly. So yeah, Cersei Lannister, she's the fucking GOAT. She'll always be the fucking GOAT. If you hate her, leave this channel, leave a like, but then you can leave the channel and just do not talk with me if you hate her. Okay, and then going to the last section of this video. I think it's been quite long already. I'm going to be telling you some of my favorite quotes in this entire series. I've written them down, and these are not the best quotes. There are a lot of great quotes in the entire series. These are just the quotes that I remember off the top of my head. There are a lot of other favorites I have as well, but these are the ones that I remember. Okay. So at number one, I have probably the best quote is in this entire series. The North remembers, Lord Davos. The North remembers. And the mama's farce is almost done. My son is home. That is obviously said by Lord Wyvern Manderley of White Harbor in Davos 4 in Dance of Dragons, obviously. And I think this has potential to be one of the greatest quotes in the entire series. I think the greatest. Yeah, has to be the greatest, right? Because man, that entire chapter, the Davos 4 chapter, there's just so much epicness in that chapter. And Wyvern Manderley, man, fucking Wyvern Manderley, the GOAT, the absolute Giga Chad, the best non-POV character in this entire series. Love him, bro. Absolutely love him. I mean, he hates Phrase, and that's what makes him goated already. Like, if you hate Phrase, you're the best. So, what a quote, and the amount of goosebumps it gave me the very first time. He has also another quote that I liked a lot, which is something like, he could not have, it is better that he got killed off right now, because if he grew up he would have been afraid. Something like that, which was again a super great quote. I love Wyvern Manderley, man. I really hope his Northern conspiracy comes to fruition. I mean, I wouldn't mind Rickon as Lord of Winterfell. I hope Rickon's okay. I hope he's okay. We think that he's in Skagos, but I hope he's okay. Okay. So, and then the next quote is kill the boy, Jon Snow. Winter is almost upon us. Kill the boy and let the man be born. This is obviously said by Mr. Aemon, and it has already been used in the shows, in the show. And obviously everyone knows that it's a great quote, really iconic. And there's, I think, a bit of foreshadowing in this quote as well. Like, the boy Jon Snow is dead. He's been killed. So the boy is dead. and the person that will be reborn again is going to be the man. Kill the boy and let the man be born. The boy has been killed, and the resurrected guy will be a man. The Lord Snow, the man. So I don't know why I said the Lord Snow, but yeah. So yeah, it's a great foreshadowing for what's up for. I mean, if it is a foreshadowing for what's about to come, and maybe when John comes back, he embraces his Targaryen heritage, and he becomes that man, with the silver hair and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for John to come back. I mean, I am really excited for the entire arc to play out. I think he might be, in Ghost's body for some time. I think that theory might be true, and I think like the show, Melisandre will be the one who resurrects him. So yeah, I can't wait. Please give us Winds of Winter right now. I'm that person now. So yeah, and then the next two quotes are not exactly quotes; they're just thoughts that go on in the characters' minds. But I just thought they were fucking awesome. The third one is, if I were a woman, I'd be Cersei. Pretty plain, said by Jaime fucking Lannister. In A Storm of Swords, and the reason why I like this quote so much is because same Jamie, same. Because if even I were a woman, I'd be Cersei. So yeah, major relate here. Jamie, yeah, that is. It just stood out for me for some reason. I even underlined it with the para text where I read it in the books and stuff like that. So yeah, and then my fourth favorite quote, again not a quote but like a thought. No, don't cut my hair. Ned loves my hair, and I'm probably already giving PTSD to the people who read the books, because this is the thought that goes on in Catelyn's mind when she is, when her hair is being cut off during her killing at the Red Wedding, and yeah, Walter Frey, I'm never forgiving you, bro. So yeah, man. Fucking insane code, bro. Like, Ned and Kat are literally our parents. Like, they are the OG couple. Like, Ned and Kat, everything about them, it shouldn't be working, but they work so well. And yeah, so I hate the phrase, bro. I hate the phrase. Okay, moving on. The last one is the pretty iconic dialogue, like monologue. No, not a monologue. Dialogue quote, which has been used way too much in the books, but it's kind of true, to be honest. Which is, nothing, Jon Snow. Sweet, simple, said by Ygritte. And it's probably true as well, because Jon Snow does not know a lot of things, and yeah, he remembers her from time and time again, and every single time they talk about Ygritte, I love how George says "kissed by fire," and yeah, that's such a great way to describe her. So yeah, those were my favorite quotes. I'm sure there are like so many quotes that I'm missing out on. One that I can really remember just now is a quote, not a quote again, but like a thought that John Connington had in the Griffin Reborn chapter, I believe, where he said that I failed the father, but I will not fail the son, which is again gave me goosebumps, to be honest. I love that Griffin Reborn chapter a lot, except the part where he disses Elia Martell. John Con, I love you. I stand for whatever you're doing. Do not diss Elia Martell again. This is a safe space for people who like Elia Martell. Elia Martell haters will not be tolerated here. Yeah, that is all I can. That's the only time I hated John Con. Otherwise, John Con, I completely love you. Fully support your cause and stuff like that. Yeah, thank you. There we have it, my first ever video. We're coming to an end. Overall, I'd say it is a series that if you haven't read and you're looking for something to read, looking to get out of your reading slump, please go ahead and read it. I understand people that are saying that the reason they don't want to read it is because the series is not over, so they don't want to be those type of people that they're waiting for the series to get over, and just because you're reading a series that is not yet over, you're in the longing that when's the next book gonna come out, and that's why I think a lot of people are still not reading the books. I get that, but Winds of Winter is probably gonna come out sometime, right? Sometime, right? I mean, I have no hopes for a Dream of Spring, but Winds of Winter, I think we will get, right? Like, I can expect that. I think. So, anyways, thank you so much for taking the time out of your lives to watch this video. If you have made it till this end, if you just clicked away after the first few scenes, it's fine. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for sticking out. And yeah, I let's see if I ever continue this channel again. I'll just keep reading books, and if I feel like talking about them, discussing them, I will continue this channel. But yeah, again, like I said in the introduction as well, if you like the video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you want, and you can obviously comment down below in the comment section. Let's keep it respectful. No, swearing or something like that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in today, and yeah, have a nice day.